Okay. The funny thing is, I hit the second commercial, and then I actually looked up to make sure I go live. I was like, "Oh shit! Did I do that?"
No,
we're good.
Great job.
Podcast 210. We have a guest. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see if he shows up.
I have faith. He's gonna be here.
Faith.
So Soto going to the Mets.
Yeah. Every
Better than the Dodgers and the Yankees rebranding him.
But you know what? The Dodgers were never going to get him because he outright said he didn't want deferred money. So I mean, there goes the entire Dodgers, ball game right there. So,
and he wanted
you
want East Coast as well. He said.
Well, he also wanted to be the star of the team. If he goes to the Dodgers, he'll never be. And if he stays on the Yankees, he never will be. So this is a perfect spot for him.
So, do you think Soto is worth the money more than Ohtani?
I don't think anybody's worth that money.
No, but
they were comparing he's the highest paid contract in major sports history, $765 million, but it's over 16 years. That's a ton of money. But you look at a comparison. Messi had $676 million for 4 years. Ronaldo had $536 million for 2.5 years. Soccer pays it out.
Soccer's not a real sport. Soccer's not a real sport, guys.
People say that about baseball too. People definitely say that about bowling.
It's only real if you convince 4 people.
Yeah. Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
All those kids playing wiffle ball with sticks.
Yeah, I guarantee those kids believed that he was the highest paid athlete.
Oh, for sure. I did like that Blue Jays trade, though.
Yeah, that's solid. Jimenez. So now we actually have a real second baseman again.
Pretty cool. A top tier second baseman.
Yeah.
Very, very good. So we need to find a third baseman, but that makes our infield pretty good.
Well, we can ship Vladdy back over there, right?
Honestly, he actually did pretty good over there. And now we need to throw some money at Vladdy.
I think they need to sign Vladdy, but I think they need a corner outfielder with power. And I think the third base, in my opinion, I think they're trying to give it to Clement. And Clement should be a guy who should be going across every one of the infield diamonds. He can play anywhere, right? He's a platoon player. I think you find maybe a power guy for third and a power guy for a corner outfielder. And then, Wagner was fine. I think Wagner would be a guy who can fill in somewhere along the lines. Gimenez can also play short, right? So that's where he came up as.
Yeah.
So I
but
think
if we have Bo, we can't move Bo from there because he'll be.
I think Bo could be gone, and then
I don't think he's gone. I don't think he's gone. Right. I don't think he's gone yet. But it's nice. It's a nice security blanket in case he does, which is okay. But there is talk of they were talking about the Blue Jays are actively trying to go after Tio again. Tio would be a good addition. We need a a corner outfielder. There's the guy. They were also apparently in talks with Corbin Burns. They were they were in talks with Fried too. They obviously missed on Fried. They missed on Snell, but
we're also in talks with Soto. So
I know.
I don't hold any truth to any.
If we can get those two guys, I feel very good about our team. I feel very much better about our team. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're missing a couple pieces yet.
Yeah. And the sad thing is, it looks like the Red Sox are willing to spend. So we could be the fourth, fifth team in the division.
Yeah. As always, the most competitive division in baseball, right? There's no way around it. Baltimore never spent money, and they have a great system, and now they're willing to spend money. So that team's going to be scary for a long time.
Yankees they're still scared from the Chris Davis purchase, right? They're not going to spend that much money yet.
True enough.
You're something.
Yeah. Who was it? Who was it that went to the Rays?
Jansen.
Recently?
Yeah, Jansen. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And Romano's gone, so now we need an actual closer.
Yeah, unless they decided that's going to be Swanson, but Swanson had a pretty tough year last year, but he was always the guy that could take that position. So, and Swanson went through a lot of shit with his family. So let's see what he's like this year. He's probably going to be the starting closer for us, is my guess.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm the wrong call here, but I truly believe that even when Asuna was the closer, I never really felt comfortable with any one of our closers coming in at some certain point. Somehow Romero always had 2 on and 1 out, and somehow
he always found a way.
He
always found a way. We signed Yimi Garcia back.
Yeah, Yimi.
Yeah. So it's nice to have baseball to talk about again. I miss baseball.
Yeah. I know the Marlins didn't get the lottery pick they wanted, but neither did the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays fell 3 spots. The lottery was a little rough.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. I think what they're looking at right now, if I was a Blue Jay, yeah, come on, Richie. Welcome to the argument, the talk here. Not even you're a little late again. But I think they're going to be looking at college arms or bats more than high school or younger players, simply just to help feed the farm, try to get them up and up into the major leagues faster. Right? They have a couple young kids that are half decent in the infield, but they don't have any really outfielders at all. And not really any starting pitching at all. And catching's been weak.
Oh, our starting pitching pipeline is decent.
Well, Tiedemann got injured again, so I mean, other than Tiedemann, what else do we have?
The guy from Astros. He was their top pitching prospect.
Jake Bloss. Jake Bloss is going to be part of the rotation next year.
Yeah.
He's already hit the major leagues. So let's cut that guy out right there. So. I know we drafted a player last year, and he's our number one guy when it comes to the pipeline. But other than him and Tiedemann, there's nothing ready to go.
Yeah,
we sold the farm, right? So
and Manoah's still recovering. We'll see what happens there.
He's always in recovering. Yeah.
Pressure got to him.
I think Manoah's another Romero. I think
he's done. I think he's
gone.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Took a chance on him. He was really good, but
yeah, he was great for that half season. Yeah. So after this, we're not back until after Christmas. December we actually have some time off.
Yeah, it's so weird.
It's weird. We don't have bowling every weekend, and we got 5PL. You want to talk about 5PL on the weekend? I didn't watch anything, so how did that all go? Heard there were some good matches.
Yeah.
Just throwing darts at you. Yeah, sorry.
I don't have any of that information on hand here.
Oh, well.
Rock and Rollers played really well.
Awesome.
They had 3 matches. They only lost 1 of them. So that was a good week for them.
Did the Holy Rollers play? Did I hear they shot a 1,500?
Yes, they shot a 1,500.
That's awesome.
How many firms did
they go to hypertension for that or what?
Haka, I don't believe got a frame in. No.
That's probably the smart thing.
They were throwing pretty good. So pretty hard to sub somebody out when they're shooting 300s.
Exactly. Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah. Snowman had a decent week. They're up to 500. The Rebels had a good day. Who else played? Misfits? Did they play? Oh, man. The Thunder played.
Marcel the Monkey. Okay, so off topic, but kind of funny story. We have one of our bowlers, Kira Osman. She was on the open team for... She went down and visited her family in Guyana and bought a monkey off the side of the road. Bought an actual monkey. It's not coming to Canada because it costs $30,000 to bring it back, and they might keep it. But bought a monkey for $50 on the side of the road in Guyana.
So where's his monkey?
It's at her uncle's place.
Still in Guyana.
And she's sending child support. I think that's hilarious.
Forever child support. Yeah.
Through 5 games, Shane Chafe is averaging 327.
Holy cow! Not bad.
Jesse Lee backed up his 340 average down to 300, so he didn't have the greatest day, but they did have 3 games, so he had to put in some time.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Right. $50 for a monkey. The things that seem funny because like that would never happen here, like ever. It's just mind blowing.
For those that are just tuning in, we're still waiting for our guest.
Yeah. Well, we can start talking about the event here.
Actually, let's before we get on, maybe the Manitoba. One quick thing: Regina Classic shifts are available.
Yes.
They came out on Monday. Looks like if everything's up to date on the Regina Classic, there's plenty of shifts still available, except for Friday afternoon that's full. So
yeah.
And Carrie, again, not to throw you completely on the spot here, because I just thought about it because I went to the 5-Pin Universe website.
Yeah.
Did the 8 gamer ever finish?
Oh, yeah. It's all finished. It's all wrapped up. I talked to one of the finalists. I think we're just gonna announce who won. I don't think we're gonna put out the video because it wasn't the greatest quality, and I've been trying to edit it to make it look decent.
Okay.
But, it is completed.
It was a genuine question because I had forgotten about it until I saw it. And I was like, wait.
I've been asked a few times. And also the 5PL All-Stars from last season, or MVPs from last season, is also been all voted and completed. But yeah, I haven't posted that edit either. I have lots of time in December, guys. Like, there's going to be news flying at you.
Is there anything else I could put you on the spot about?
No, please don't.
Please don't. All right. A cat, close for $50. Yeah, all right. It's not a monkey named Georgie though.
Like, what's the last thing posted about the 8 gamer?
Yeah, I don't know.
Playoff brackets. Okay, all the way to the semifinals. Yeah. So yeah, I should post something soon. Sorry about that.
No. Sorry for putting you on the spot, but here we are.
Need it.
I'm not sorry for anything.
Yeah, that checks out. The fact that there's 4 people averaging over 300 at 5PL right now is pretty phenomenal.
Well, there's a lot more than that.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's just for the.
That's just with 4 points.
Yeah, that's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 from what I could see. That's wild.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. Should we start talking about Winnipeg?
Sure, let's talk about it.
What I missed? Nothing illegal, Henry. You missed nothing illegal. Moving on.
Yeah. I can
How about we don't?
I already gave him shit. All right. Okay. All right.
Back on track.
Manitoba Open.
Yeah.
Great time was had for the 50 hours I was there.
Yeah. You weren't there very long.
It was in and out. That's
what she said.
Much like Tim's sex life, yes. Yeah. In and out.
Anyways, what I'm saying is that outsider looking in, I know they struggled with the live streaming just because of the internet crashing on them, and that's nothing they can talk about. Nothing they can do about. Sorry, but otherwise, like everything was very good. Outside
the tournament on site ran smooth as always. They do a good job there.
Yeah, this is the 4th year they've ran it.
Yeah, third year on tour. Yeah. 4 years total. Yeah.
I missed last year. Came back this year, and everything is like really good. It's super well organized. There's like it's quick. Like there's lots of breaks in between shifts, which is like nice. There's a great little restaurant that opened up upstairs.
Yeah.
But it was really smooth. They do a great job of it. They do a great job with the sponsorship is phenomenal.
And the sponsors showing up to the lanes and doing stuff too, right? That was cool.
It was really good.
I think seemed really cool, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I did follow it a little bit. I can't tell you who the winner was, but I did follow it. So obviously it piqued my attention. And for those that are there, especially those sponsors, obviously they felt like there was an investment and like dividends they got from it, right? So that's the hardest part a lot of the times. And I thought Aaron spoke very well at the last podcast we had him on, and give him a lot of credit for that, and whoever else helped him out with that, right? Like Vinny and that.
And like Aaron did a lot of the morning announcements and stuff like that, talking about the sponsors and stuff like that. Like very well spoken. Like the committee that they put together to run the tournament was amazing. Like, yeah, sure, they had internet issues, so live streaming was a little shaky and stuff, but like if you're at the actual event, it was well run. Like I said, I'd go back every time. I know it's it's middle of December. Maybe if we could ever figure out a better weekend for them, obviously that'd be fantastic. But
yeah, it was great, and the changes to Sunday were awesome too. I think that was way better.
Yeah, oh yeah,
way better.
Well, like I missed the cut. I would have made the 48 cut, so I'm a little sad about that. But,
way better.
But I mean, it was 20. Like, yeah, I think obviously with the number of players they had out there, the 40 made sense. So they at least they were proactive on a solution before it was an issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I watched from the outside a little bit, and like I understood how the other one worked. This one was a little bit easier to understand a little bit more. I thought it was good. I had no complaints on it. Obviously, we can talk about last man standing. I have to say, obviously, Greg wins again.
Tim, maybe we could bring in our guest since they showed up.
Oh, he's in. Perfect. There we go.
How do you not know this?
I was looking at the stats.
Oh my god. Okay, without further ado, the champion of the Manitoba Open. Ryan Bourne, how are you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, anytime.
First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Has it sunk in yet?
It still feels weird because I always thought that it was like, you go to a money tournament and there's like a list of 4 people that win, so they always win. And then I found out that my dad's the only one, and I'm like, wait, this is a really big deal. I didn't realize this.
Yeah. One more and you're better than your dad.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
You know what? Maybe back in the day, like 25 years ago, back in the time where like Bruce and Gino and all those guys were at them, you saw a lot of repeat winners then. Repeat winners are hard to come by these days. There's just so many quality players, right? So to win one is a big deal.
I was incredibly surprised whenever it was like, oh yeah, my dad probably has like 10 or 12. No. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I can see why he was celebrating so much.
Yeah. Yeah, he understood. Yeah.
Did you play in the Last Man Standing, Ryan?
I did not, no.
No.
Apparently it's like, 16 games or something?
Yeah, it could have been. I think if they would have filled up, it would have been 5-game qualifier. Then they cut down, play 4 more, cut down, play 3 more, and then I think 1 all the way in or something like that. Like it could end up being a long tournament. Unfortunately, they didn't fill it this year, but
that's just a lot of bowling.
Yeah,
especially for one weekend.
And Greg DeGrazia won it again. So like, how boring is it to watch that guy win all the time?
It like him and Mitch are like Thursday night experts.
No. Greg is. Greg wins the singles and he wins the doubles.
He just drags Mitch with him.
And Mitch is like, bring me along, bring me along.
That's why Mitch, I always say, that's why Mitchie wants to have doubles, because he has a hedge bet in Greg. 100%. But yeah, it was 21 players, it looks like. I think, how much was the entry fee again? It wasn't 500.
$225.
$225, and Greg walked home with $2,000.
Yeah.
So that's $1,775 plus nets before he even showed up for the weekend, right? So
yeah, it's awesome.
It's definitely nice. A win in that aspect.
Yeah, makes the rest of the weekend, just feel a little less pressure,
And I do agree with Ryan. It's a lot of games. It's a lot of games before you even start the main event. But at least, honestly, your weekend's already paid for, so it's kind of a plus that way, I guess.
No,
right?
that would work out well if you won it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
I was supposed to play in it, like I said on podcast, but 5-hour delay in flight times really hampered that.
Yeah, one of us stayed true to our word.
What's that?
Me, when I was like, okay, I'm going to show up. Click.
I showed up.
You did, I know, but I just said I was showing up to the tournament. I didn't
on
say
my fault that WestJet sucked.
Yeah, no kidding.
Okay, so let's just. How many WestJet beer? How many flight beers did you have waiting to get on?
Me?
Yeah.
Like, how many beers did I have waiting on my delay?
How many beers did you have in the airport waiting for your flight?
I had 4 beers total in like 8 hours.
And how many did Johnstone have?
I can't give you the correct number because I don't know.
Is it over under?
Plead the fifth. Moving on.
It's over 4.
Yeah, I just always wonder because you're almost waiting. Like you get that cheap flight. It's like, man, I hit this cheap flight, and then you get stranded in the airport, and you pay double what you paid for your flight and beer. Yeah.
So again, off topic, but on topic. The best airport beers I think I ever had was on the way to Masters Nationals, and we got stranded in Winnipeg in the Winnipeg airport, and our airplane was clearly having issues, and they had our plane like literally open up on the tarmac, like trying to fix it. So every half hour is like delay it again, and every half hour we were like another beer, and your dad happened to be there. Your dad was supposed to be on the same flight, and this guy was having many beers with us. And eventually there was a random pianist in there just playing music, and your dad decided that it was time for karaoke.
that sounds like Jeff.
Yeah, and just started wandering around, like giving the guy money to play certain songs and singing at the top of his lungs. He had some loonies thrown at him. It was a good time.
Covered at least one drink.
Yep. We never did get on that flight. We had to stay in a hotel for the night, but yeah, it was a good time.
Oh man.
I feel like if that's when was this? A couple of years ago?
2019.
I want to say that was Thunder Bay.
No, it was Quebec.
Was it Quebec?
Yeah.
Okay, 2019.
This is Gibble. But I think that was the same time that we had to pull Wade Power away because he was cussing at the flight attendant.
Yeah, he was supposed to be on the same flight. Yeah, and then he got pulled off, and he yelled at them, and he was not allowed on the flight the next day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He did not end up at Nationals to watch because he was just going to watch. He didn't end up making it.
I just remember there was a scenario with him. I think I was sleeping on a chair at the time. I was like, if we get on the flight, it's sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It was an experience.
Yeah.
Jesus. I remember that. Yeah.
So
Anyways.
obviously, last man standing, we had Greg DeGrazio win, and then for the Bakers event, the whole Ablast crew.
Yeah.
God blast with Shane Barry.
With Shane Barry, yeah. Amazing for them to win that. He brings on helps out with all the sponsorship, gets his Twisted Tea thing with Amanda and all that, and then they end up winning and have to wear the onesies.
The onesies are fantastic, though.
I'm hoping they got to keep those. I honestly didn't confirm with them.
I think they did.
I think so. That and the cowboy hats.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Were they warm? Like it looks like they were warm.
Yeah, I would say they're warm. Team Alaska. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. Win by 2.
Crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
win by
that
2.
close.
Yeah. Really close.
I didn't even realize.
Well, they backed it up though. They shot a 201. So they were ahead by quite a bit. Gave it all away in the last game.
Okay, so what team was Gilardi's, the one that had won 3 years running?
I don't know.
They didn't win.
I think Ralph was on Duncan, but I think it was Biscotti that had.
Okay.
And then there's
who is Team Daddy?
it's Daddy's Boys, and that was me, my dad, Will Thompson, and Alex Thompson.
Okay, all right.
Jesus.
That makes it feel slightly less creepy.
Yeah.
You know?
Just a little, yeah.
So unfortunately, you guys just finished just out of the money.
Yeah. We would have stayed to celebrate, except my dad doesn't like being first loser.
Yeah, okay.
Nope, that tracks.
Yeah,
I
that's
guarantee that.
That's totally fair.
Obviously, we can move on to the main event, but there's probably some stories that we probably could go over. I have a good story about your dad, Ryan. And it's not an offside story or anything because we know how Jeff likes to live life and all that stuff. But
yeah,
it was when I ended up breaking his Masters record for 21 games. He actually came over and bought me a beer for beating the record, even though we finished like 4th, I think. We weren't even close.
But so what was it
That's
for
awesome.
21 games? You
Yeah,
got
it was
high
the
score.
Masters average, yeah. And then the next year Freddie beat it, and then Adam beat it like shortly after that. But like back when houses were hard and scoring was still tough.
And averaging 270
That
was
270
incredibly
was
good.
massive. Yeah.
Yeah, now
That
if you
was
don't
BC
average 270 in league, all of a sudden you're
You're missing cuts in Regina at 270, right? Like,
it's
Oh,
terrifying.
you're not even close.
yeah, exactly.
You're
gotta be
80
280.
points away. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. No, it's just your dad, obviously, class act always. That was something that I will always remember, just sitting there out of nowhere, like drinking our sorrows away for finishing 4th or 3rd or whatever it was. And then he came over and bought me a beer because of that. And I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely a nice guy.
Yeah. I've never had a bad moment with Jeff.
Yeah.
I've got no complaints.
Fair. Strongest supporter. We can give him that for sure on the weekends.
Absolutely.
Well,
Yeah, without question.
well, the funny part of it was apparently in the last day he watched, I think he said my first 14 frames, and I had like at best 300 for those 14 frames.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not watching you again. So he didn't watch any ball that I threw for the rest of the day.
Wow. You would never know it.
No, because we were actually just talking we just went and picked up his car from the mechanic, and he was saying, I finally actually got to watch the finals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he spent the entire time at the other side of the alley house, just up looking at the screen, having a drink in hand, just shaking. Like,
Yeah.
because I personally, I just don't really do singles bowling. So to make it that far, it was like, okay,
Yeah.
that's surprising.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally fair. Ryan, how old are you?
26.
26? Okay. Yeah. Is it just like, obviously since I've been going out to the Manitoba Open, like we've seen a lot of you, but we hadn't seen a lot of you before that. Is that really when you started like playing more competitive stuff?
Yeah, because I've done like YBC, because I did YBC Nationals basically every year, but I mean, Masters teaching, but the first money tournament that I ever did was the Manitoba Open, and then I went to Regina that same year, I believe.
Awesome.
But,
Ever seen you? Yeah.
Yeah, because I made the cut in Regina, and then I beat Len, but then I got absolutely slaughtered my next set. But I was the only guy that beat Len because that was the year that he won.
Right.
But
and of course, you've had success on your masters as well. I mean, you're talking about teaching, but back when the masters were at Bonnie Doon, you came runner up to Mitch, right? So
yeah. It's funny to go from being on the teaching team with a 260 average and then making tournament singles the next year and then hitting tournament team. Would have been cool to get medals in all of them, but unfortunately the teaching team, it did not work out quite as well. But teaching terrified me.
Can I ask why you made the choice to play teaching?
My dad said, "Hey, you're going to be on sale. You're basically fresh out of YBC. Your average is only like 234." So I averaged 250 at tournaments, so I was already guaranteed to get pins up. Because I don't know, for some reason at YBC I just couldn't bowl on Saturday mornings. But he said, "Hey, sign up for tournament and teaching side." So I was like, "Okay, sure." Ended up getting into teaching, and my first tournament was like plus 250, then like 270, and then I think I had like plus 120. So, and I was still not even on the team with those yet, which was terrifying.
Yeah.
And then since I didn't bowl in a league that year, they ended up just taking my master's average, which was 260, and then I showed up to nationals with a 260 average and shot negative almost every game.
Yeah.
It was the idea of giving somebody 120 free pins just by walking onto the lane was hilarious.
It is terrifying.
Yeah,
it is.
Well, the part that
I think. Sorry, go ahead, Ryan. No.
Well, the thing is, because again, that was my first master's teaching, but it always got to me how I could lose a frame if somebody went 2-pin miss.
Yeah.
I was the amount of people that I saw throw gutter balls, I was like, and they still scored higher than me.
Yeah.
I gave away so many pins.
A totally different mindset for it. You almost have to forget about the match completely and just, yeah.
Yeah, well, I ended up shooting a 160, and then the other guy ended up shooting a 160, so we tied scratch, except I lost by over 100.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely lovely. So I didn't even, it got to the point where I was like, in bowling, I never really pay attention to like scores or what's going on, but especially in teaching, I'm not going to keep track of everyone's average to see, totally. I'm giving him 92 pins and him 73 pins, so I'm down 44 in frame 5. It's like, no matter what, I'm just going to throw a ball anyways. So,
hey everyone, it's our special guest, Carey Kreitz.
but you're right, Ryan. No, in that aspect, you just have to finish your game and see where you land, right? So,
yeah.
So that's probably somewhat of the same mentality you had this past weekend, probably with a lot of your matches.
If you watch the live stream, I started off rough on basically every time that I played.
Yeah.
Because for the 7-game qualifier, I was sub 400 for 2, and that was the only stat that I knew, and I was like, this sucks. I don't want to do this. But then I ended up going like 350 and then front 8 the next game or something. So I was like, okay, maybe I can do all right, but
yeah,
I was like 390 or something for my first 2, and I'm like, this is a bad look. For third high qualifier, immediately shoots a $180.
Yeah. So you qualified Thursday, and then you played Friday night, but you just got to chill for 2 days. How good was that?
It was actually very nice because I especially needed it because as most people probably know, I don't bowl league or much bowling really at all at this point. I mostly just do tournaments, which became a problem for my calluses and my shoulder and my arm and my forearm. Everything was hurting.
Yeah.
So the 8 games, everything was fine, but especially going into Sunday after even like game 3, I was already like, okay, this is maybe I should practice more and actually get some stamina because everything hurts. My calluses are on fire. I can't feel my fingertips. My feet hurt. And
You sound older than we are. But so let's talk a little bit about that format change. So they switched it up this year, and then it's top 40 instead of top 48. 9 through 40 play in 4 pods, 7 game like the Red Deer format, and top 8 get a bye. That is the highest out of all the buys that you see in the tournaments. That one seems huge. Like you get 7 games off. You don't have to bowl until 12:30. Like that's while everyone's already grinding, you can go and have eggs Benedict. You know, like it's how nice was that? I mean, like you were worried about stamina as it sounds. To have that morning off must have been like kind of a breath of fresh air.
Well, considering that I qualified first shift because I was high qualifier of the shift, I was just praying that 7 other people didn't beat me, and everyone's saying, no, they're not going to. You're definitely going to be top 8. And I was like, because I already bowled like 17 games or something on the Sunday. So if I had to bowl another 7 for 24,
yeah, who knows?
At that point, I'm throwing with my other hand, maybe backwards. Just it just won't be going well.
Yeah.
Kind of going through your pod there, obviously you got the top 8 bye. You said you started with the buck 80, but you're backed it up with a 208, but you won that match, right? In those pods, that 50 pins is huge. Like what happened in game 2 that you win? You must have played Wes.
Yeah.
Did you? Yeah.
I played Wes, and I think I struck 9, 10, 11.
To steal it from him.
It's just hilarious to say, I struck 9, 10, 11 for the win with 200. Beautiful to see.
Match play, man.
But I think that's how the house played, right? Like you get in a tough one against somebody and it would be 2-0 against 2-0, or you'd shoot 340 against like 370. Like it didn't seem like there was a lot of in between games. Like it was you're shooting close to 300 or you're shooting close to 200. There wasn't a lot of 250s going on much. I didn't perceive it that way.
Yeah. That's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Costello had a fat stack of like 270s, 280s. I think he just ran consistent for like the entire time.
Yeah.
He probably had some 350s in there, but I think he went like 270, 280, 280, 290, 300, 250, 270.
Yeah, he was probably the most consistent.
230, 300, 250, 216. He was really consistent.
But even there's like he had 3 middle games and the rest are just 300 or 2-0, right? Like
fair enough, yeah. I mean,
crazy.
I think I had a 350 and then up there. So
yeah, you went 260, 380, 270, 330, 280. Like,
yeah, your last 4 were massive, and that's it.
Yeah, luckily, must work being in pain.
Yes, exactly.
That was the first set he was playing.
Yeah,
so he wasn't in pain yet.
Shouldn't have been. Yeah.
I had plenty of time to recover because I know some people were saying, "Oh, I qualified Friday, so I have Saturday off." I was like, "Yeah, I qualified Thursday, so I have basically most of the weekend."
Yeah. Yeah. Then you moved on to the 8s, and you faced. Who did you face of the
Colton Uswa?
Yeah. That was a fairly close
match, yeah.
He got in. He had the 2-0 in game 2, though. That really. put him behind?
Honestly, I can't really.
He started off like 310, and you started off 250. You were down 55, and then you shot 294, and he shot 206. You kind of flipped the script on him a little bit, and then it looks like you just ran him out of frames. It's a 273 to 276 to finish DNF. So you must have just ran him out with the frames there.
Yeah, I remember I didn't know if we had to bowl frame 10 or not, so I think I threw my last shot backwards because he already shook my hand and gave up. So I was like, I think, because the thing is, with how at least my brain in bowling works, my dad says that I could never be an anchor because you're supposed to know the score. I really don't know the score. So it was like, if they shook my hand, it was over. Even if it was like a frame or two left, I was like, okay, I'll believe you. I don't know. Sure, thank you.
Good to know.
So I want a clarification. Like, so you obviously know how to count score, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I am good at math. I just simply I look at the scoreboard to see which lane I'm on, and I have a vague idea of if I have a mark before me or not, and that's about it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, I shot a 294, I backed it up with a 371 and then a 250. If you ask me how I bowled for the day, I'd say, hey, that was pretty good. I'm not going to go, oh, like 9-10 for 3, and then I've never really been the guy with all the math answers, which really makes being friends with Derek Orn funny, because he'd always tell me my scores, and I'm like, thank you. I didn't know that. Truly have no idea.
And it bugs me.
Honestly, that's a good way to be. Like that, I don't mind that mindset at all, because like at the end of the day, you still got to throw the ball the same way. Your mindset shouldn't change. So if you don't have those outside thoughts in your head, it doesn't matter, right? Just go up there and try to throw a strike every time.
Because the first time that when I qualified in Regina, I was like, hey, it's head-to-head play, and I'm looking at what the other guy's doing, and it's like, oh man, he got a double, and I'm like, I'm getting in my own way of bowling. Bowling's already complicated enough as it is. Why are you trying to make it harder? Just you, as my dad says, there's no defense in bowling. All you can do is just throw your shot. It's not like you can full body tackle them. So
yeah.
Fair. Like I said, you're not the only one that I've heard that from. Obviously, Brad Mullins doesn't watch the score. He can read what everybody else's body language is. And I'm not throwing this other one under the bus, but Ryland came up to me about a month ago, and he's like, he doesn't know how to add properly. He doesn't know how to do it properly. And I was
100%,
like,
you just threw him under the bus.
Yeah. I don't mean to, but here I am.
But the more I thought about it was, honestly though, like for him, he's like, well, how do you know what you need? Well, either to shake my hand or I hear a bunch of cheering and I did something. I just throw the ball and I look up at the score after. Like, so for us who always read the score and we like, hey, like you're like you said that Jeff said, hey, like you need to shoot the shot. Sometimes it might be no pressure at all because you don't know where you are, and I kind of am okay with that too, right? I understand that aside. So there's two parts to it, right? Where I do think you could be an anchor because honestly, you just tell the person to go up and bowl, and everybody else is.
Well, the thing is, because I was an anchor whenever I bowled YBC, because it was like, okay, there's no pressure for the shots in bowling. It's just, you're going to throw your ball no matter what. Doesn't matter if the guy you're up against has a 390 or a 210. You're just going to throw your ball. So all throughout YBC, I was the anchor because there was no pressure, and everyone else was looking at the scores because, you're like 14, 15, and it's a really big deal at the time to be like, oh man, I really have to get a spare here. And it's like, I'm just going to throw the same shot that I've been throwing, and that's where it's going to go. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. Like, I mean, whenever I got silver for Masters singles, shot felt great. I had a whole ton of head pins because I was doing something about it, but I at some point you can analyze your shot, but also you have to trust the ball. You can't really go so in depth to be like, oh, I tweaked my hand slightly to the left. I have to quickly adjust, or my shoulder slightly bent outwards. It's like, it's have confidence in your shot, throw your ball. You can only hit at best maybe 3 pins. Normally you just hit 2 and you're preying on carry. So
it's interesting to hear your take on the way you look at the game, and I do like it because, like, you're right, there is no defense in bowling. It's like golf, right? You only can control your game. You can't control what the other player's doing. So you do what you do best to your ability. And where some other players, obviously they're not looking at it as defense, but they're looking like, okay, if I need the first strike here, like obviously you're trying to throw a strike all the time, so you shouldn't have to change much. But now if I need a spare, I don't want to be missing my miss as a head pin. So now I'm going to change it a little bit, where you're just taking that right out of the equation. That's not even a thought, right?
it's you're going to throw the same shot. I mean, I guarantee there's some points, like as my dad said, the anchor should know the score, and if he needs something, because I don't know, say you need like a 5 spare instead of, if you need something spareable, you're going to try and hit the side, but maybe going for 5 is a better answer. Or if you got the guy shut out already and you already got your team points, just go 5-5-5 to end the game. But
yeah,
doesn't work with Mark Miller, but
yeah, it's but those moments are super rare, right? I like what you're doing because, like, at the end of the day, it keeps the focus on the execution and off of results, because that's where it should be to begin with, right? So, but yeah, unless you need 3 points to win, so you're aiming for the 3 pin, like you have the right side open, you need 3 points to win. You're shooting for the left 3 pin, so that
you're gonna
you're not gonna blow by or something like that, right? So yeah. It's super rare that those situations come up. So
or
if you're in that situation, somebody can yank you by the shirt and be like, "You need this. Like, aim here."
You need at least 3, and I'll be like, "Thank you very much." And then it's same shot. I'm probably still going to shoot inner pocket, I guess. I don't know how people play pocket though. Like in bowl, I don't know how people can be like, yes, I'm a left pocket guy. I'm like, that's impressive that you have that much accuracy.
I'm not. I aim for the middle.
I am.
That's all I do.
You're a pocket guy?
Yeah.
I aim for the middle. It doesn't matter what side. If
my priority is left pocket, and my miss is right pocket.
Yeah, I have I'm playing for room for error, but like I'm trying to play a line where if I get the ball out, it's left pocket. If I put the ball down, it's gonna be right pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying.
What are you trying to do? Always throw it out, so that's a specific pocket, right?
Yeah, but it's more so playing for like the mistake. So if I have the mistake, it still hits
exactly. Yeah. But if you're throwing your A ball, what is your shot?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If I'm throwing my A ball, I don't need a pocket.
My A ball is left pocket.
Yeah.
I've never actually thought about, like, because I just shoot for center arrow, but am I a left pocket guy?
No, you're thinking way too much here, Ryan. You don't.
I think Ryan.
I've never thought this deep into bowling.
Throw the ball, I think left pocket is
okay.
I
got a question for you, Ryan. I got an honest question for you. Obviously, I don't know you at all, and it's great to hear your side of the whole thing. But I feel like you can take or leave bowling. Like, take it or leave it. It's not like it defines you. You don't get upset about it. It's just,
well, the thing is,
fun, and that's what it is.
Bowling is basically 90% a mental game. So I am invested in bowling. I do love bowling. It's just I refuse to be upset by something that I'm going out there to have fun to do.
Okay.
It's people get upset about, because like literally just I spared last night for league and I had like 780, and it's like, okay, my last game was like $190, and I'm not going to go, oh well, I suck because I shot $190. It's like, okay, well, I think I went like 280, 340, so that's probably pretty good. I just don't like. I understand why people will get upset at bowling because it can be very upsetting. And for the first time in the finals, I actually did end up kind of smacking a ball rack because the pins were not falling my way. But again, they ended up falling my way, so I can't be that upset.
Yeah.
But whenever I have like, double head pin, like I go head pin, split, aces, corner, miss, and I'll be like, okay, I just have to keep doing what I'm doing. And then I go head pin. I'm like, hey, maybe this is just getting really annoying.
Yeah. I also have another question for you then, Ryan.
Oh, another honest question.
No, I'm very intrigued because your dad obviously is one of the best ever to come out of Manitoba ever, right? And your mom, in her own right, was a good bowler too, right? So
she was up there. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So which parts of your game did you take from dad, or which parts of the game did you take from mom?
Well, apparently I stole my bowling style from my dad, because I'm sure everyone's heard the story if my dad has been drunk enough at a bowling alley. But my technique to bowl is same hand, same foot. I don't suggest doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I got it from him because apparently he got home late from bowling one night and I wanted to throw balls against we had a nice little wall that we would throw little like bouncy balls at. I loved doing that whenever I was a kid. So my dad ended up accidentally going same hand, same foot. So whenever I finally got big enough to actually throw my own shot, I started to do same hand, same foot. And he was like, hey, that's kind of wrong. And then I ended up shooting like 204 whenever I was like 4. And he was like, hey, maybe you'll be all right. I think this will be fine.
Like there's a way that everyone's taught, and that doesn't mean that that's exactly perfect for everybody. And there's a lot of people that bowl off the same foot, same arm we've seen a lot in 5PL. Like there's all of a sudden a whole bunch of bocce players coming out of the woodwork that are very, very good, but there are some benefits.
Matt Innes is a national singles champion.
Oh, I mean Peteritis, right? So, there's lots of things that do happen with it that's good, and the one thing is like it's really hard to lay that ball down.
Yeah,
really hard to lay the ball down.
If you've seen my shot, I rarely lay the ball down because it goes at least halfway down the way.
Exactly. So
but there's lots of similarities like between you and your dad's arm swings, right? Like you have the same arm swing and like the same prep. It feels like the delivery may be quite a bit different, obviously, because you're throwing from the left side and same foot. But like you could already see the similarities. You watch your approach, and it's like, oh, that's Jeff Bourne's son.
To be fair, I did steal that from him. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's because he does the whole talking to yourself on the approach thing and getting set up, the deep breath and all that. And for a while, I had no pre-shot routine whenever I was 12, 13, 14. I would just get up, grab a ball, set up in some vague area, and then throw the shot. So I decided to actually get a pre-shot routine where I just said, hey, my dad seems to be doing just fine. So I'll do the whole double arm swing, deep breath, get set up.
Yeah.
It works. I mean, I've recently been able to coach actually someone that bowls same hand, same foot, and they do a different setup than I do, but same theory. But they spend about 15 seconds rubbing their hand on their leg and preparing the ball in their hand, and that's their pre-shot routine. I just swing the ball a couple times. So
yeah, fair.
It's all personal preference, really, because that's an important part of your shot, but it's not like the end-all, be-all, oh, I ruined my pre-shot routine, therefore everything's done for.
Yeah. Fair.
Yep.
Obviously, we wouldn't do the other people that you had to play justice if we didn't mention. Like you had to play Kyle Costello. Also, once again at DNF, you must have ran him out of frames again.
I think that was frame 10 again. Yeah.
Yeah, that was close. 10 points.
Yeah, and then against ROC, Ryan versus Ryan in the den. That was different. The final's never been on that side before, so that was kind of neat.
Having it down in the den was great.
Yeah, more room for people to watch too, right? That was
that was nice.
Yeah.
But ow.
What do you think of the 4-game final? Obviously, probably
Terrifying.
a fan of it now.
I mean, again, I don't do much head-to-head bowling, so I was like, okay, I can only do me. So it got to one point where I stopped looking at the lane entirely whenever it wasn't my turn, and I'm facing the crowd. I was like, okay, if they celebrate, that probably means he did something good. I'll just do me. But I think it was either Sunday morning or at Baker's that I talked with O'Callaghan. I was like, hey, the Battle of the Ryans. We're going to get it going. It turned out to be the Battle of the Ryans. I was like, oh, man, it's actually real.
That's kind of something neat that you were saying. Like you looked at the back, you weren't paying attention to what they're doing, and we've seen that across kind of a lot of players do that. They don't, like you said, no defense in bowling. Obviously, don't pay attention to what they're doing. You only can maximize what you're doing. Going into that 4th game, I'm not sure. Obviously, you probably didn't know what the numbers were, but you were down by 95. And
I can tell you actually the numbers that were in my head. It was he beat me. He kind of beat me, and then it was okay. In 3rd game, frame 10, I know that I have an up on him, and then in frame 10, I punch, and I'm like, hey, I didn't get him by much, and all that I knew was that he was definitely up by a significant amount going into game 4, and I'm like, okay, just find the shot. So I have much in my dad's school of thought. I typically have a song in my head whenever I'm bowling to kind of keep rhythm. After the head pin in 10 in game 3, I panic changed my song for the start of game 4, and luckily it worked. But I was like, oh no.
Do I ask what song it was?
It's a rap song, and it's not safe for work.
Okay, all right, yeah,
gotcha.
I guess no worries.
No, but the first one was on Kendrick Lamar's new album, so that's about the only hint.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Obviously, so 95 with 1 game, like you got to score 4 extra strikes compared to your competitor at minimum, and hopefully in a row. So like I enjoy your mindset because you're not thinking about that. But like, I think you threw a 5 or a 6 bagger in that last match to take the difference, right? Like to squeak the whole difference back. And then even going into 9-10, like Ryan still legitimately had a shot to shut you out. But then unfortunately he fouls for a 2nd time in that match. That really takes that opportunity away from him. Did you, I guess that's an unfair question because you wouldn't know if you're not keeping track of score, but like when he was fouling, did you have any idea how impactful that foul was going to end up being, especially in the last match?
No, because I missed like my right 5 shot, I did not have down for that finals whatsoever. I think I left like 20 or 30 sticks just of my right 5.
Yeah.
And I knew that was going to be impactful because any stick you leave on the lane is a bad stick. So
yeah.
I knew that was going to mean something. Whenever I heard that he fouled the first time, I was like, oh, that's just, it sucks.
Yeah. You know, it's hard watching and it sucks. But I was like, as a competitor, you got to be like, is this the momentum swing? Is this where things start swinging in my favor, and then like that might loosen you up a little, and away you go, right?
There's a theory of in bowling the door is either closed, it's a little open, it's very open, or it's locked. So whenever I saw the first one, I was like, that sucked. Whenever I saw the second one, maybe the door was a little ajar. Yeah. But I was never like, oh wow, yeah, I'm glad that he did that. I was always like, that just sucks.
Yeah,
I was
100%.
never, again, in the theory of my dad's bowling, voodoo, it comes back to bite you. So if you send out bad vibes, you get bad vibes. If you celebrate someone's failures, everyone's celebrating yours.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good mindset. And I agree with that 100%. Is you never cheer for the failure of your opponent. You only cheer for your success, right? So cheering on somebody's bad luck or misfortune is obviously not good voodoo. So that was a good way to put it. But yeah, it like obviously you guys battled the whole way, and Ryan had, or OC had the foot up on you pretty much the whole entire time, but you could just see how draining that foul was on him. And the first one really didn't matter. In the end, it turned out it did matter. But at that point in time when he did that, it was like Ryan, it didn't need to bother him, but it seemed like it affected him a little bit, and you could see it going. And then it seemed like you, and I'm not sure if that was coming from Jeff or the other people that were obviously cheering you on, but you could just see you were just picking up a little bit more. You all of a sudden you'd string a couple strikes together, and you could just see it tilting your way, right? And it was no fault of OC's. It was just a bad luck on him sticking on his third shot, shooting at a corner pin, and then all of a sudden the momentum just flips, right?
I mean, yes, I'm sure, because like Colton is a big fan about talking about bowling, where it comes down to, if you're coming down shot for shot in 10 and the guy absolutely punches a 3-pin, of course you're going to throw the strike to shove it down his throat. But that, I've never understood that mindset, which is why it was really fun being on a team with him, because he was always talking about like, oh yeah, if you punch a 3-pin, I am going to absolutely annihilate my next ball to make sure you taste it. So that way you know that you messed up. And I've always just been the guy that, I throw my own shot, I'll celebrate my shot, and then I'll continue onward. I rarely know what my opponent's bowled. I'll know if they're doing good or not, judging by how they're, reacting. But
yeah. Well, go ahead, Dexter.
Yeah, I like that mindset. I love the mindset of Colton's, because like that's, my mindset has switched a little bit in the last couple of years too, where it's like I used to be a lot like Mitch, where it's like if I saw head pins up there, I didn't want to throw. I didn't want to worry about it. And in the last like 5 years, like I don't even care whether it's like in a qualifying shift or against a team or what. If I see somebody punch, to me, it's like, hey, that's an opportunity for me. And then I get amped up to go. Yeah, it's like, all right, let's go throw a strike. Like, what, like, so I like that mindset. And like, yeah, maybe you didn't notice the momentum shift because you were focusing on your own stuff, and that's really the way it should be. I think OC probably felt that momentum shift more than you probably did. And it's just that, Carrie, you're right. That first head or foul that he had, he bounced back pretty good. He threw a 4-bagger after that, but the second one you could see was deflating. The second one was definitely like super deflating on him.
Well,
for sure.
Well, I mean, it was a little odd job there. He threw his hat, so I can see it would be a little bit upsetting. So,
because I know he had 2 fouls, except he did fall 3 times.
Yes.
He fell a third time and stayed behind the line.
Third one was probably the one that really got to him, because he didn't foul except.
You lose confidence in your shot. You lose confidence in the ability to stay solid at the line, and then you're like, now you're just guessing, right? And that makes it tough. It's hard to play scared.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
And you definitely weren't, which was awesome. It was fun watching because you were definitely not playing scared. It was great.
Well,
it didn't appear that way, anyways.
The big thing that I've learned in bowling is that there's always more bowling to be done until you're in the last ball of frame 10 of the last game. there's still plenty of bowling to be done. So much like I had in the 7-game qualifier, I had sub 400 for 2, but there's plenty of bowling to be done. So I came back. Otherwise, some people might have just said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I've officially lost already, even though there's 5 more games left. And, in all of my shifts, all of my head-to-heads, I think everybody got one up on me in the first game, but there's plenty of more bowling to be done. It's a matter of, I guess, mental perseverance. Although, I threw a great ball. I had some great breaks. I also had some really bad breaks. All you can do is throw your shot, and you're just really hoping that it works for you, which I got very lucky. It worked out. It worked out for me.
Yeah. You played great all weekend, man. You played great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you really
and OC too. Like, we'll give him his props too. Like, made it to the finals.
To make it to the finals is outstanding bowling already.
Well, and he did 3 shifts, and he's 78 years old. So, like,
you beat a senior citizen. How do you feel about yourself?
Yeah, that's elder abuse.
Wow, favorite pastime, definitely.
But yeah, definitely. Like, he made it all the way, and like, you talk about mental perseverance. I mean, like, that's it. Like, St. James has had some moments against him, and he found a way to get there. So, like,
yeah, he's had some mental monsters there. That's for sure.
He's had some moments.
Yeah.
I know we touched base a little bit about obviously your dad winning an event like this, but how does it mean for you? Because Jeff won this event too, didn't he? I thought he won the Manitoba Open.
No, he made it to. He made it to the semis, I think, a couple of years ago, and then got. I think Dwayne Gilardi got him.
Yeah, that sounds very good.
But no, he hasn't. I mean, I don't know about the Manitoba Open in forever, because I'm not very much of a bowling buff or a history buff on bowling. So
yeah, that's fair.
I know very little about the outside world of bowling other than the tournaments that I sometimes get texts on Saturday saying, hey, you remember there's a tournament tomorrow, right? I'm like, no, but thank you for letting me know.
Okay, so you keep track of nothing.
I live a very organized life, technically, except regarding bowling, apparently not so much.
So Ryan's dad, Jeff, won the KG Open in '97.
Okay.
Yeah, I pulled up his resume here. So that being said, I guess obviously we saw the video with Sly going live. He might have had a few wobbly pops. But you and your dad's interaction, you can definitely tell that your dad was very proud of you.
That was the guy with the bike race.
Yeah, that's Sly. Yeah, that's the one.
It was kind of distracting, but also great because all you see is just him popping a wheelie with the bike as we're bowling, just walking back and forth.
There was a moment where he popped a wheelie and OC ran over and played the wheel like a harp. In the middle of the match.
It was very the crowd around was a little out of hand at that point.
Well, we could hear Taylor, we hear Dex, we can hear Taylor talking about some tattoo on his chest or something. I don't know. But
Parker was losing $1 million to 1 bet. Like, it was getting rough out there.
Well, Parker likes making bets he can't cash. Let's put it that way. I can't say that. That's a podcast after dark comment. But anyways, it meant a lot to your father about your win, right? So you could tell. How does that mean to you? Like, I don't know. Does it mean something like a little bit more that your dad was so proud of you, and he's won these things before to kind of be in the same kind of group as him?
Well, the goal is, as all things would be, I'm gonna be better than my dad. That's the hope. So, so this is a good stepping stone. That's for sure. I just need another, 30 nationals appearances. Then I can start the conversation.
Step one.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's always great to have a very supportive family. To have my dad be off the wobbly pops, running back and forth celebrating. That was also just as like, okay, good thing I'm driving home that night. Good.
Yeah.
At least we got that clear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, it was awesome.
And you guys didn't need to scrounge for change to go have a steak at Earl's this time, so that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out because my dad fronted the money for the tournament, we ended up agreeing to split 50-50 for the winnings. Apparently a bad choice on my part.
Yeah.
But we agreed to split 50-50, which meant that some of the envelopes of money got handed to my dad as well. So he got one of my high game pots, my 380 in the 7-game qualifier. That envelope went missing.
What? How does it go?
We went to the bar. I went to the bar for sure.
Yeah,
don't know.
100%.
I'm pretty sure he had it because I was like, because I came up to him after the 7-game qualifier and I was like, hey, people shook my hand. I think I'm in. Did I not win the high game with a 380? And he was like, no, I got the high game pot. And I was like, okay, good. And then as we were at shop for food, I was like, hey, we can, I guess, count our money here because he said that we should. So I'm like, okay, do you have the high game pot? And he just didn't.
Yeah, he drank it. He drank it and just didn't tell you. 100%. That's what happened. Yeah. I don't know what happened. It just disappeared.
The tab was probably that much, to be fair.
Convenient.
He was stress drinking on my behalf for how that finals was going.
Yeah, for sure.
But he also had a 50% stake, so he was stress drinking on his behalf as well.
Well, he already made his money back.
Yeah, that's fair.
He cleared his money by like triple fold.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that is our hour, but we wouldn't be further doing the podcast justice if we didn't show.
Oh yeah. Power in the kisser.
That takes skill.
Every podcast. You need to go back and edit that into all the first like 200.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Just in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, congratulations, man. Great win. It was fun.
One last question. Why didn't you get a tour membership?
I actually got asked that question Sunday morning in the lounge after the other 7-game qualifier, the number 9 to 40. Jaden, but I don't know his last name.
Algayer, whatever you want. Algayer. It's Algayer. But
he asked me about it, and I was like, "What's that?"
So someone doesn't pay attention to bowling things.
He said that apparently I would have won an extra $1,000 if I had the membership, and I didn't know what this membership was, and I don't know anything. I was like, okay,
you would have been a lock for tour finals.
Oh, lovely.
You would have made money there.
Oh,
It just depends how much.
It could be way more than $1,000. It could be a little bit less than $1,000, but you would have made money. Yeah.
Okay. I pay so much attention to bowling all the time. So because
you throwing gutter balls with your words too, Jaden.
Actually, really, Ryan, what you should talk to is your investor. Your investor should be actually planning these things.
Should have seen that coming.
Or listen to the announcements.
Oh yeah,
it's okay.
It's again, I can't blame anyone other than myself for how bowling goes. But
this is the time you don't.
Hey, it's all good. It's a lesson learned.
Well,
it takes
'cause-
one win, and now you have to be a member next season, because if you win again, then it looks really bad.
Okay. Then maybe I'll have to look into it. Or by that I mean text my dad.
Yeah, perfect.
Hey, Jeff. Tour membership, please. You'll have to figure out what it is.
Set an alarm.
Well, it was because it was. He would text me, when bowling was. So sometimes I'd assume that bowling would be on the 15th, and then it's actually on the 22nd. So he'd text me and be like, "Hey, bowling next week. You ready?" And I'm like, "It's not tomorrow." Or, "Hey, it's not this week. It's next week." Or, "Hey, it's actually a week earlier. Are you ready for bowling tomorrow?" And I'm like, "It's a good thing I have this guy."
So like, there's this app on your
one
phone.
sec. Do I have?
It's like really crazy. It's got like a calendar. It's got all these dates and stuff in it, and like you could click on it and like put.
And I can add stuff.
You can
I think I have
add
it here.
appointments to it.
It's like really wild.
They have New Year's on here. I might
good.
forget that one.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations, Ryan. It's a huge feat. And like now you're even with your dad on that. So like that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have to get my one-ups. I have to go win a few more so that way I can laugh at him.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for coming on, Ryan. This was a treat. And yeah, it was good having you on, and have a good rest of your night. And hopefully we have you on again soon.
Yeah. Have a good Christmas. We won't be back until after Christmas now.
Oh yeah, we get a whole month off now.
Yeah, ladies are next week, and then it'll be Christmas, and then it'll be New Year's. So we won't be back until
Whatever
the 8th.
Nope, the week after that.
Because the kids are going to do it on the 8th. Frames of Shame on the 8th. So, all right, we'll see you guys in a month.
See you in November.
I won't be on that one, so we're going to need it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 months. Bye.
We'll figure it out. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.